Hello and welcome Physics 110 students. In this video I'm going to talk about two very important programs, software programs, that you're going to be using in Physics 110. You're going to be using both of these all the time. So the two words I want you to remember are Blackboard and WileyPLUS. Those are the programs you're going to use for this course. What you see on the screen in front of you is the welcome or home page to Blackboard for our course. So you have to go to the Blackboard site, and you can see up there the URL at the top, bb.owu.edu, and log in with your OWU username and password, and then click Courses, and then click General Physics 1. Not the lab. We'll talk about that in a separate video. General Physics 1 is Physics 110C for class. And this is the home page that you will see. Okay. Up at the top, there are a number of options that you can pick. Course content, course calendar, discussion board, gradebook, and messages. But mainly you want to be in the course content option, which is what you see now. Okay? And I want to now go through some of the important documents here. First off, I have also emailed to you, but here you have the syllabus for the course. This is a vital document. You must read all of it in its entirety, and I recommend you read it first thing. That should be the first thing you do as you start to work on this course. Read the syllabus, because that describes to you how the course will be run, how you will be graded, the material we're going to be discussing, and how we're going to be functioning as a course. So that is the most important document of all for all your classes. So please read the syllabus for this class first. And of course, if there's anything in the syllabus you have a question about, send me an email. So that is the first real item you see under course content, syllabus, where you can download it and read it. Next, you find a course calendar. And there I just made a kind of a table, week by week through the semester, that says what chapters in the textbook we're going to be discussing that week, when our assignments due, and if there are any quizzes or tests, when are they. So you might find that helpful for your time management. Next, you find a document with instructions for how to access our textbook. That's the second website I mentioned, WileyPLUS. And I'm going to be getting to that in a little bit. But what I'm going to talk about later on with WileyPLUS is how to maneuver within the WileyPLUS website once you already have access to it. There's a video that you should have watched already with instructions for how to register and get access to the WileyPLUS site. So I'm assuming you've already done that, registered and obtained access to the WileyPLUS site. But here are instructions for how to do that if you have not seen those yet. Next, we have a department assessment test. It's really a pre-test. This document is optional, and it is in no way meant to grade you. It is a tool used by our department, Physics and Astronomy Department, to help us in assessing how well our program works. And it's very helpful if we have some first-year students who take what we call a pretest. And it's a way to kind of gauge how much physics a person understands or knows when they start our courses. And then if we gauge when they finish at the end, then we can tell how much they've learned. So this is an assessment pretest. It's optional for you to take. It's got instructions on how to do it and how to get the results to me. But I will tell you this, if you do opt to take this departmental assessment test, I will, in the calculating of your final grade at the end of the semester, drop your lowest two quiz scores. So it'll give you a little bit of a help in your own grade if you will help us by taking our department's pretest. This is where you access it and read the instructions for how to complete it. Next, I have a document. It just says, is Physics 110 the right choice for me? It's a little questionnaire, completely optional. It doesn't have any effect on your grade. It's not graded in any way. It's purely for you. You can take it if you wish. Like I say, it's a little questionnaire. You answer some questions and you get a score. And based on that score, then we give you advice for whether we think, in our opinion, Physics 110 might be the right thing for you to do right now. So you might do this if you have any doubts as to whether this is the right course for you. And of course, if you do have any doubts about whether this is the right course for you, please reach out to me via email and we can talk. We can meet on Zoom and we can talk, okay? Okay, then you have a series of folders that start to show up, okay? First is quizzes and exams. That's where you will go when it's time to take a quiz or exam. That's where you will access the quiz and or exam, and that's where you will upload your work. There's nothing there right now because we don't have any quiz or exams yet, so we'll talk more about that as the first quiz approaches. Next, there's a folder for discussion boards and class engagement activities. These we have starting about on Friday of this week. Little short answer questions that I embed in my video lectures or in my class content. And if I ask you to upload answers, this is where you will go to do that. You'll get used to it when we start doing it enough. Then there are folders where I have my course content. These are going to be basically screencast videos that I make and upload to YouTube. And you'll be watching those before our classes. Okay? So you will go there chapter by chapter, day by day, to watch a video lecture that you watch before class. So if I open the Chapter 1 content folder, you'll see it says Video Lecture 1.1. And it's for Thursday, August 20th. So you watch this as part of your Thursday physics class. And it's a link to a video on YouTube that I have made where it summarizes the most important content from Chapter 1 of our book. All right, and then there's Chapter 2 content. And if you open that, you'll find subfolders, lecture videos and in-class content. And so the lecture videos, if you open that, you will find the video lectures that I have created. You can see that there are currently 4 of them. Okay, video lectures that I have made by date, and that tells you when you need to watch them. And in-class content will be material that I show you when we have actual face-to-face class. That's where I'll put this so that you can access it at other times besides just during the class. Okay, so this is an overview of the content you will see on the Blackboard website for this class. Now let me say just a little bit about the options over here on the left. Roster, you can view everyone in the course. Course description. This is important. Blackboard Collaborate. It's rather likely that we may be using that. That's a kind of virtual classroom where at a certain predetermined time, we can all meet as if we were in an actual classroom, except it'll be a virtual classroom. It's called Blackboard Collaborate. And if I ever tell you that we're going to have class on Blackboard Collaborate on a certain time, like Monday morning at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, then at that time you log into Blackboard and you click under Blackboard Collaborate, Join Session. And you will be in essence entering our virtual classroom. Okay? Okay, so those are the main items in the Blackboard site that I want you to be aware of for now. Okay? You will be using this site a lot. Another program you will be using a lot is WileyPLUS. So let me go to that. That's now on the screen. So please remember, I'm assuming you've already watched my video on how to register and obtain access to WileyPLUS. That is our textbook for this class. You must purchase our textbook. Okay? It's not an option. And so this is our textbook. The name of the textbook itself is Fundamentals of Physics, but WileyPLUS is the software platform that presents the textbook to you. So after you've already obtained access to WileyPLUS, created a username and a password, and logged in, this is like the home screen for our course on WileyPLUS. You can see it'll have your name. Right now it's got my name because I'm the one logged in, Brad Trees, but it will say your name, and it say you are logged into Halliday Fundamentals of Physics 11th edition, Physics 110C. And then you will see main topics here, main items: read, study, and practice, assignments, gradebook, Orion, and downloadable e-text. It's the top 3 you'll probably be using most: read, study, and practice, assignments, and gradebook. So let me click on those one by one so you can see a little bit about them. If you click on read, study, and practice, wait just a moment for things to load. You get a set of links at the top, kind of like a banner. All right. And then, well, a lot of words. But the main thing is under Contents, this drop-down menu on the left. Right now it's set for math skills. But if you click on it, you will see all the chapters of this book, of which there are a total of 44. Okay? And that drop-down menu may not be appearing on the video, it would seem, but it will, I promise you, when you click on math skills, you will get a drop-down menu. Okay? So math skills alone can be very helpful because there's a whole bunch of links you can look at if you feel a little rusty in your algebra or trig, or you want to have a little bit of discussion about significant figures or units on numbers. Then you can click on any of these resources on the left under math skills and get some extra help. But I'm going to click on content, and I'm going to scroll down to chapter 2, motion along a straight line, so that you can see what that looks like. Give it just a second to load. Okay, there it is. So this is the main reading content for chapter 2. Now let me try to explain something here. I am not going to assign for points the reading of the book. I think we have enough things to deal with on our plate. However, I do recommend that you do read the book. It is considered one of the best physics textbooks on the market. And so, if you do want to read it, let's say in a video lecture, I say I recommend you read section 2.1. Then you could go, this is where you would go to read it. And over here on the left, under Chapter Resources Reading Content, it says 2.1. Position, displacement, and average velocity. So you click on that link. Wait just a second for the content to load. And there you have Chapter 2, Motion Along a Straight Line, 2.1, Displacement, Position, Displacement, and Average Velocity. And then you see, well, what do you know? Words, i.e. you read. Just start reading. But this is an interactive textbook. This is why it's digital. Okay, so you're going to have a lot of figures, and you're going to have these little built-in questions. You see, here's the first set of them. These are meant for practice, just to see if you're understanding what's been said. You don't have to do them for points. You can try them if you want. You can enter an answer. Okay, I'll just enter a number, and then I'll click Check Answer. And if I'm right or wrong, it will tell me, whoops, I got the answer wrong. Okay. You can even reset it. I think you can. Give it just a second. Yep, there it is. Okay. So you can try those if you want. And then there's a question 2 that goes with that. See, it said questions 1 through 3. And there's a question 3. Okay. It's not for points. It's just for practice to see if you're understanding. You don't have to answer them if you don't want, but I think you'll get the most out of this if you read it and try these, because you'll be actively reading. Then there's more reading. There's an animated illustration on graphing one-dimensional motion. And then what you discover is a video is there. You can click play on that video,
what we have here
and somebody starts to talk to you. Okay? And then there's some questions right here. Click there. Wait just a second. Okay, and now we've got 3 more questions to practice with if you want to try them. Then there's more reading. then another animated illustration and some questions, and just a little more reading. And that's it for the reading. Then it gives the learning objectives for this section, summarizes the key ideas that you just read, and it gives some interactive exercises to try if you wish, but again, it's just optional. And if you're reading, I recommend skip those interactive exercises and then go on to the sample problems. These are examples. Examples are very helpful because we're going to be doing a lot of homework problems, and you want to see some of them solved by experts, right? To start to learn how to solve problems. These sample problems that you see in the book and the ones I'm going to do in class are how you start to learn how to be an expert problem solver. So you can start studying the sample problems or examples, but note they have built-in practice questions that you can try. Okay? And then there's another sample problem and one more. There's usually at least one sample problem. Sometimes there are 2 or 3. There at the end is a checkpoints if you want to try. Just simple little short answer questions to see how well you understood the material. Okay? So that's the section 2.1, and that's material that you can read. And I think you will find that it's easier to do the homework if you read this material. In fact, what I recommend is you read the material in the book, then watch my lecture video for that material, because what I do is summarize the important ideas from a given section, and then come to class where we will practice with those. Does that make sense? So you would read the content in the book, watch my video lecture for that content to see my summary and my emphasis of what's important, and then come to class and we'll practice that content. That's going to be the main plan. Now let me go back to the home screen on WileyPLUS, because I want to show you another important link you need to work with here, the assignments link. And it tells you how many assignments there are. Right now there are 0, but soon there will be 1. Okay? And our first assignment is going to go live here pretty soon. And it's going to be a set of problems from chapter 1. And once that first assignment goes live, it will be there, and there will be a link that you can click on, and it will be very clear when that assignment is due. And it will be homework problems from chapter 1. And then you will enter answers and click submit, and it will tell you if you got them right. And for each problem, you will get 5 tries to enter the correct answer, including units on the numbers, if there are any. And if within those 5 tries, you get the correct answer, or answers if there are multiple parts, then you get the points for that problem. Okay, so you'll be spending a lot of time on that tab, the assignment tab. The gradebook tab, which you can also access right there from the top, is where you will just see WileyPLUS's record of the points that you have earned on all the assignments. And we'll be having about 2 a week throughout the entire semester. So you'll have of the order of 30 assignments, and you will be able to see your grades on those 30 assignments, so you can keep track of how you're doing. Okay? So those are the main items, I'll go back to the home screen, that you will find on the WileyPLUS site, and you will be spending a lot of time here. If you have any questions about WileyPLUS, do not hesitate to reach out to me. But that's what I'm going to say for now. So that's all for this video.